All right. So here's the deal now. If you had to start a team, Mike, you said you had your answer to this question.
Yeah, I do.
If you had to start a team today with any current SEC quarterback, who is it?
So we're just talking for like a 1-year deal, right? We're not like trying to build somebody for like a 3-4 year run.
No.
Yeah. So this is like an SEC quarterback draft is essentially what you've set up here. And I like the question. We went over this on Monday, the list of SEC quarterbacks. You've got 8 returning starters. You got 8 newbies. I'm going to go a little bit off script here. I know what the favorite pick would be if we polled like 100 people. The favorite pick would be Carson Beck. And I don't think you're wrong to say Carson Beck. But I'm going to take Quinn Ewers. And I think Quinn Ewers has as gifted an arm as anybody in that group. And I look at Quinn Ewers and almost like a Bo Nix type learning curve where he's been humbled. It hasn't all been gravy. But, he also hasn't had quite the supporting cast that, he hasn't had a Brock Bowers. He hasn't had what Georgia lines up every Saturday. And this year he might. But I'll take Quinn Ewers number 1 with Carson Beck a very close number 2 in my SEC draft, if you will, to kind of build on what you're asking.
Phil, do you have a number 1 quarterback pick from this group?
Yeah, Mike kind of stole my thunder there. I was thinking Ewers. Not
taken.
Yeah, taken. Seats taken.
Seats taken. Phil
taken.
Can't sit
so
here.
If we're drafting, you know what? I'm gonna go Jackson Dart.
Why?
I think he's capable. Can make some good throws. You got to put a good system around him. I don't think he's gonna manufacture a lot. But I think he can operate well within the confines of a solid offensive plan.
What about you?
One of our listeners is a very anti-Jackson Dart guy, but I know there's the notion that maybe he's just a system guy. I think he's pretty talented. Like I don't think that's.
I don't see the big insult with system quarterback. I mean, here the opposite side of that is every quarterback should be operating within the confines of a system for success called the offensive game plan. And if you can execute that.
Danny Warfel was a system quarterback.
I mean, right.
You could make the case every Spurrier quarterback was a system quarterback. I mean, hell, I hope Carolina gets a quote unquote system quarterback that puts up numbers like Jackson Dart is and is a potential all SEC type guy.
I would imagine you wouldn't have to dig very deeply to figure out that guys that would be considered system guys actually have greater success in the long term and short term than those that you would consider incredible athletes.
Agreed.
Yeah. What about you, JC? You're on the Carson Beck train. I think you've got him winning the Heisman, don't you?
Lenore Sellers.
Oh, Homer.
Homer. That's I mean, now we're going upside.
All right, we're starting. We're starting a team. Okay. You're just starting a team
for 1 year. For 1 year,
a lot of those guys that you've mentioned have good supporting casts.
1 year.
Like
now, hold on, 1 year. We already clarified this. It's not like, well, I'm going to build him up. Now you got to play this year. This is the only year you get with him.
I'm going to let everybody else draft the other guys, and I'm going to take Lenore Sellers, and then I'm going to put guys around him, and he'll win me a championship.
That's right.
And the reason I say that is because he can run and throw. And he's big, and he's got an arm, and he's intelligent. He's what you want. Now, is he going to take some time? Maybe not. I mean, I think the guy is one of the he's what we would call rare. None of these other guys are rare to me. They're not. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but are they rare? You go, holy crap! I've never seen anybody like that. No, Lenore Sellers is a rare. And so give me the rare guy. I was like this when I evaluated too. So I kind of like the rarity guy, but it paid off a lot of times.
I got to say, I've known JC a long time. I've never seen him this excited about a Carolina quarterback.
I don't know about excited. It's just checks all the boxes for what I like. The quarterbacks I think will succeed at schools like Carolina. Like, in other words, succeed. In other words, put up numbers and win. Usually they're the last however many years they've been dual threat guys. They've been guys that maybe that weren't great runners, but could run a little. Even Phil Petty, go back to him, he could run a little bit. And they're guys that are a little rare. They're a little different. Garcia, Shaw, all those guys. I mean, and this kid's way different. I mean, that's why I got so not upset, but I was so adamant when they compared him to KJ Jefferson. He's nothing like KJ Jefferson, other than being a big guy. Nothing like him. I mean, KJ, I don't think KJ can hold a candle to this guy.
KJ was just inaccurate as all get out.
Yeah. See, there's the difference.
Arkansas people, they were just fed up with.
That's why
KJ
I think you're going to like Sellers.
Yeah,
Mike, because it drives Mike crazy when guys can't hit the broadside of a barn. I know this about my
absolutely.
friend Mike Morgan.
Yes.
He's just like, hey, run all you want, dude, but if you can't throw, you're not in the Mike Morgan Bible of quarterbacks.
It's like the basketball player that puts on a show and layup lines with a bunch of dunks, and then he can't hit a 15-footer. I have no patience for that.
Yeah.
So I want to see this young man, and I always have confidence in your evaluations. I want to see this young man blossom. I don't need him to throw 80 yards like Joe Milton could, but couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on a 10-yard out or a skinny post or anything else for that matter. I want him to just excel in the intermediate passing game, make the right reads, make the right plays. And yes, I know he's going to dazzle us with his feet. I want to see both all wrapped up into one nice package.
That's what scares people. And I don't know why, because you look at other guys like Milton. All right, so what are the highlights from Sellers last year in games? There's not much. There's the bomb he threw against Furman where you're like, wow, what a strong arm, on the money. And he had a couple of intermediate throws in that one that were on the money too, but it is Furman. And then you had the one play against Vandy where he kept on the zone read, broke a tackle, and scored a touchdown. That's it. So I get it, because we've been bamboozled by the Jamarcus Russells of the world, all the plus size quarterbacks that were good at throwing it down the field, but that intermediate game, which is very, very, very important in college football, just was lacking. My opinion is he won't be lacking in that intermediate game, and that he's an accurate passer that can make the right reads and make some things happen in all phases. So yeah, if I were starting one, I'd have the smart pick. And then I build up around him, and I would indeed take Lenore Sellers. Number 2 for me would probably be Nico from Tennessee, just because of the dual threat quarterback thing with me. I like the way he has wheels, and he is an accurate passer as well.
So Mad Dog is going with
Dart.
Jackson Dart.
Man, I'm gonna take Dart.
Mike is going with
Quinn
Ewers. JC is going with
Sellers.
Lenore Sellers. I'm going with Arch Manning.
That is
starting to sound like First Take.
I like that. I like that, though. I like Arch Manning. I like that pick.
Arch Manning is the starting quarterback in Texas week 3.
Wow.
All right. Well, you just crapped on my pick. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Ewers was taken, because apparently he's gonna, I don't know.
It's gonna be a long year for you, Mike.
Leg? What's he gonna? How's that going?
Ewers goes to Michigan, has a brutal week 2. Manning gets in the game week 3.
And doesn't look back.
That is definitely a contradiction. What do they call that? You're like the what's it called, JC? Like in
He's
plays.
a contrarian. That's the contrarian.
Well, it's a contrarian point of view,
Yeah.
which is like half of like what Dan Lebitard and those guys do. Just say something to be different. It doesn't matter if you mean it. It's just like disingenuous takes. But there's the antagonist and the protagonist.
That's right.
So,
yes.
so Jamie is the antagonist. I gave you a protagonist pick. Jamie said, no. Off the top rope, antagonist. You're a guy that's going to be he's not even going to play. I'm taking the backup.
All right, JB. Other than the fact that my man's last name is Manning.
Okay, do you really want to know?
What do you think is going to happen here?
Of all, I like where JC's head is. Hard for me to. We haven't seen Lenore's play, So I'm a big believer in him. I don't know that I'm like a lot of you who are planning on him winning the Heisman Trophy this year, but I'm a big believer in Lenore Sellers. I think he's going to prove to be outstanding. I would take Jalen Milrow. I think
that's not a terrible pick either.
No, I would take Jalen Milrow. I mean, you talk about is there a more athletic quarterback in the country than Jalen Milrow?
No, and he can throw. He can throw too. He's not as consistent as you'd like, but I mean, look at that throw he made to beat Auburn. I like clutch plays too for quarterbacks. Being clutch is underrated.
While Joe Milton never got better and never got accurate, Jalen Milrow did get better.
He did,
I think, and his running, like we get caught up in putting every running quarterback in the same box. He is just different. When you watch him run at that size, I haven't seen many guys like that at all in all of college football. So and of course he's going to be working around some pretty good talent. I have a feeling that could actually be a very good pick. Unlike your Manning pick, Jamie, which completely is going to hit the dumpster by week 3. But that is a very strong pick.
Jalen Milrow's built like Deebo Samuel in a lot of ways. Probably 2 inches taller, like but 220.
Thick though, yeah,
he's
thick.
Like,
he's a thick
run.
And quick twitch. Holy, again, he is just different.
You're going to be saying the same thing about Lenore Sellers.
Well, no, I believe you. But again, I haven't seen enough of him to say
poor Lenore's.
He's Jalen. I just want to see Lenore's play a good game in week 2 against Kentucky.
This guy he's going to throw one pick, and JC is going to be wearing it. For me and Phil are going to be having to fend him.
Goodness, yeah.
At 11 o'clock.
Here's the beauty of what JC is saying. He is either going to look like a stinking genius, which he often does, or every time he has a bad game, they are going to remember these comments, and the Big Spur is going to be lighting up. I thought you said he was the next best thing since sliced bread.
Look, I have not made any predictions though. I messed that up with Jake Bentley because I said he was going to be a first-round draft pick and 3 and done. And I'm not saying anything like that about Sellers. I'm just saying I think
Mad Dog.
I think he's rare.
Mad Dog, you better get fitted for a bulletproof vest, my man, because I've been here. I know this spot. I've been right in this chair before. These bullets, it's hard. This ain't the Matrix. They're gonna hit us, and
oh man,
we got to step. We got to take a bullet for JC. Here's our guy, but a few too many, and the show's dead. You see what I'm saying?
So, just for the record, this is a strong year of SEC quarterback play. To go back to your question, Carson Beck, Jalen Milrow, Quinn Ewers, Nico, Brady Cook is not going to get a lot of love, but he did win a lot of games and barely makes mistakes. Jackson Dart, even the kid at Florida, Mertz, he's not bad. They stink around him, but he's not bad. And JC says, damn them all, Lenore Sellers.